Yes, thanks. This was a report in 1995, in February 1995, in the Journal of the Canadian Medical Association. So it's a report that would have been read by all Canadian doctors, including the military doctors. And it was a case where these two buddies were in the tent. One of them was taking Mefloquine and the other was taking nothing because he was like a tough guy. And they were prospecting in Tanzania for rocks. And the guy taking Mefloquine took it every Sunday, and everything was going fine. He was getting no side effects. And then one day, three weeks into the trip, they shared a bottle of whiskey on a Saturday night. And then the effect of that was to make him psychotic. The one who was taking the Mefloquine, the other one experienced nothing. And he started to get auditory and visual hallucinations, was convinced his buddy was going to murder him, so he was going to murder him in exchange, but he controlled himself. And the next day, he just got very depressed for a day, and then he recovered. So he thought it's a bit strange. By Tuesday, he was all right, so everything was fine during the week. The following weekend, this is all in the paper, by the way, this is a Canadian geologist. The following weekend, exactly the same thing happened. They shared a bottle of whiskey, and then the one taking the Mefloquine became psychotic and had hallucinations, was convinced his buddy was trying to murder him, wanted to murder him in exchange. Next day, he took his Mefloquine tablet and went into deep depression for a day, and then by Tuesday was all right. So he decided it had to be the Mefloquine, and he then, at that point, just stopped taking, it had to be the interaction of Mefloquine and alcohol. He decided to stop drinking whiskey at the weekend, and the rest of the trip was fine, and he came back to Canada, was seen at the Ottawa Civic Hospital, and they said, right, this looks like a real serious interaction with intense alcohol exposure, and they published this report, and of course this didn't go down at all well with the drug company, because they didn't want the idea of a drug that was meant for tourists to have a precaution against alcohol with it. So then they set up their own bogus, what I call a bogus alcohol study, which they published the following year, which they carried out to discredit this Canadian, very important report, and in my view, very persuasive report. And they, in the Dutch study, they got a population of 40 very healthy young people who were more or less teetotalers. They gave them a minute amount of alcohol, a thimbleful of alcohol, 50 grams in orange juice over 2 hours. Then some of them were taking Mefloquine, some weren't, but they hadn't taken any Mefloquine for a day. Then they put them out on the road and made them drive around and did some other tests, and they decided that they published it as showing that there was no effect of alcohol and Mefloquine at all, and at least not in low doses. So by that strategy, Roche were able to discredit this very important, in my view, hazard to taking Mefloquine.